It's Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I am here to do a what sold video from October 27th to November 2nd. And the first thing to sell on eBay was this Streets Ahead brown belt with embellished rhinestone buckle, and this sold for $60. Cost to me on it was $2.99. Next item to sell was this Gap chambray tunic blouse with embroidered denim, and this sold for $30. Cost to me on it was $5.99. Next item to sell was this Mazzoni multicolor knit sweater, and this sold, I took an offer of $29. I had had this forever. I've definitely had it since I lived in Boston a few years ago. Um, so I took an offer at $29. Cost me on it was $4.99. Next item to sell was this Abercrombie and Fitch white moose logo thermal. This sold for $21.25. And the cost to me on it was 60 cents. Item to sell was this Woolrich multicolor plaid casual heavy flannel shirt, size 3XL, and this sold for the full asking price of $38. Cost to me on it was $6.49. The next item to sell was this small vintage hot cutout wooden shelf with two pegs on the bottom, a very cottage-core farmhouse, and this sold for $31.45. Cost to me on this was $1. I bought two of these that were plain unfinished. I did this one in a um, dark coffee stain, and I did the other one white, which is still up for sale. White with some black stars on the side. But, so those were pretty good turnaround for this one. They paid $1 each, and I did a whole bunch of things in one day where I was just staining stuff that needed to be done and painting. Next item to sell was this vintage MK Jackson whole striped cotton long sleeve, shirt with snap buttons. I think they snap. They look like pearl snap. Um, and this sold for $22.95, and the cost to me on it was $6.49. Next item to sell was this mentholatum vintage milk bottle glass of mentholatum, and this sold for $14.84. Cost me on it was 50 cents. I had bought a ton of bottles at an auction at one point, and I still have some. But, they sell regularly and make me money, so I won't complain. Next item to sell was this L'Oreal Revitalift Vitamin C Serum, and this sold for $18.27. The cost to me on it was $2. Next item to sell was this top stitch by Morning Sun, cardinals on a bare tree, one on a sled with the snow scene in the background, and this sold for $20, and the cost to me on it was $4.97. One point, these things sold out for me so quickly. Now they're and for decent money. Now they've gone down a little. They still sell, but, um, I don't rush to pick them up anymore unless they're, like, half price because they have slowed. Next item sell was this Vineyard Vines quarter zip, seafoam green, jersey, and this had the embroidered Vineyard Vines on the back of the neck. This was also new with tags. I picked this up, not too long ago. Within the last month, I picked it up at Goodwill for, uh, $6.99, I think they're up to now. So, I bought it for the full price, $6.99, and I don't usually pick up, Vineyard Vines anymore, but it was new with tags, and it was, a nice weight and nice color and had the embroidered on the back of the necks. It really didn't take long to sell, and it sold for $39, so I'm glad I did pick it up. The next item to sell on Poshmark was it oh, I'm sorry. Next item to sell on eBay was this vintage, um, 80s, 90s Old Navy turtleneck sweater with the argyle on the front. And no, I normally never pick up Old Navy. It was new with tags and it was vintage. I have never seen an Old Navy. I believe this was lamb's wool. So I'm thinking this was Old Navy before it got pulled into, I think, the same company owns Gap and something else, maybe Banana Republic. And so now Old Navy's the low one on the totem pole there. But this, I'm gonna say probably was 80s, if you see this Old Navy tag. And I'm still excited about it. Took me forever to sell it. I'm glad it's gone. But this was 70% lamb's wool, 20% Angora rabbit, and 10% nylon. Made in Hong Kong. So that's how old it was, that it was made in Hong Kong. And so this may actually be from the 70s. Um, I think that was when we were doing Hong Kong. So anyway, this was old. So I was excited about it, but no one else was. This I've had also for years. And I recently relisted it with a lot of other things and just added Dark Academia. And it ended up selling for I don't know if probably sent out the offer for $23.80. And the cost to me on it would have been $4.99. So, not a great sale. I just thought it was interesting how old this Old Navy sweater and what good quality it was for an Old Navy sweater. Anyway, I'm gonna move on now. Over to Poshmark, and I only made 2 sales on Poshmark. First one was this vintage Conti di Milano wool blend collared plaid sweater, and this sold for $20. Cost to me on it was $3.25. And the next item to sell was this Dooney uh, Dooney and Bourke canvas wristlet with the keychain, and this was never used. I picked this up at a yard sale last summer, and I don't think I ever listed it, any of it. I got pocketbook that's in this, um, print, and this was inside the pocketbook, and so wasn't, his eyeglass holder, and there might have been something else. The other 2 I kept with the pocketbook, this I sold separately. So and I only paid $1 for all of them at this yard sale. So I made my money back, and I still have the pocketbook and with the other accessories up for sale. Next item over on Mercari was this vintage Puritan aqua wool men's vest, and this I took an offer of $23.20. Cost to me on it was $4.99. Other item that I sold on Mercari was this Paris Sports Club 100% wool Nordic navy blue sweater. I love this sweater. I thought it would do so much better, but I've had it definitely more than a year. So somebody gave me an offer of $28 and I happily took it. Cost to me on it was $5.99. I mean, it is kind of the thing with clothes. They do sit around. Whoops. Now over to Etsy. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I would really appreciate it. It just makes it worthwhile to do these videos. It helps me out. So if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, and let's move on to Etsy, which has been my favorite this year. So the first thing to sell on Etsy was these 3 hornet's nests. I don't know if they were hornets and beehives or what, but I think that's definitely a hornets. I'm not sure if these were yellow jackets, hornets, or what, but I picked these up when I did the 100-mile yard sale. I picked these up at a garage sale, the first 2 here, before I went to the 100-mile yard sale, and then I bought this one for $5. So I spent $10 on all 3 and sold them for $68. So good turnaround. Next item to sell on Etsy. I did sell a mirror too, but the mirror is being returned, so I didn't put it in here because she did say she'd already shipped it back. It was smaller than she thought. And that's okay. Um, this is a filigree frame, and I sold this for $35. Cost to me on it was $1.99. Next item were these fun little shades, lamp shades that have pom-poms on the bottom. And I bought 4 of these, so I still have 2 more. I sold them in 2 sets of 2. Um, so these sold for $29, and the cost to me on them, not sure. I'm gonna take a quick look. Exit. Mhm. I'm getting a little carried away here. Cost of goods was $6. So I made 17.65 on these 2 shades. It suits me fine. Next item was this vintage heart shape, door with heart cutouts on them, and a drawer and a shelf. This was a wall hanger, and this sold for $79. The cost to me on it was $4. Next item to sell was this really gross insect um, thing from this was I think from Carnegie School, Carnegie Museum of in the section of public education. So I had 2 of these. I don't know where. I think maybe I threw the other one in my booth and it probably sold at some point because I don't have it listed anywhere. But this one I had thrown up and put a price of $75 and I got $75. And the cost to me, I think, tops I paid set $15 for both of them. So that would make it 750. So good turnaround, $75, 7.50 investment. Next item was this vintage seagull wall plaques. These are just small plastic home interior or Sirocco, one or the other. Wall hangings made of plastic, and these sold for $25. Cost to me on them was $1. And the last thing to sell on Etsy was this pair of marble brass candle holders, and with these had crystals on them, and it's a boy fishing, or 2 boys. One's fishing. I don't know what the other one's doing, but anyway, they're out fishing, and these sold for 179.95, and these have had a long, long time, so I don't even know. I didn't have them. They're not on my inventory because 'cause I've had them that long, since a while before I left Boston. These, I believe I paid $15 for the pair. So, and that is everything that I sold from last week, which was November 27th to October 2nd. I hope that your sales are picking up and that we're in Q4, so get listing if you're listing that's selling. And I need to get sharing, I think, more in Poshmark. I got rid of the Posh app because I have a sharing in another app, but I don't know. Posh hasn't been very good to me this year. I have also not boosted anything. Um, Maybe I should. I just don't really want to give them any extra money. They get 20% of every listing as it is. And I don't know what that's for if they're not even going to show you stuff. But anyway, I may have a change of heart, but right now I just am not finding it as good. Last year it was probably one of my best. So you never know. Things change from time to time. Anyway, I will see you next time. I did go out today and I probably have a short video coming of me doing a little thrift haul. And, I think that I went into a St. Vincent de Paul and an antique store and got stuff. I did go to another store too, I forget, not the Goodwill, and I can't think of it right now, but you can buy anything there, so it's not gonna be in there anyway. So it will be a quick one. It'll be between those 2 stores that I went to. But I will see you then. I'm just rambling on now. Good luck with your sales and get listing. We should probably do a challenge at some point. I just don't know if I have enough watches to do one, but anyway, thanks and bye.